How's it going, everybody? This is Dr. Jon Clayton, your Layton Chiropractor here in Utah. We are at Supra Chiropractic, and today's video, I want to talk about my toolbox. A lot of people will come into my office and say, why is there a toolbox there? Because you're not a mechanic, you're not working on cars, you're working on people. So what's the need of a toolbox? And so the first analogy that was given to us, and it was by one of my favorite doctors who's a chiropractor in the Bay Area of California, Dr. Paul Walton. He said that what you want to have the analogy of is that you have a toolbox, that you have all these different tricks and skills that you can access to help any kind of patient that comes in. And so that analogy of having a toolbox to be able to help people with their specific needs and that to really address that everyone is different, that's what this toolbox is for. And so I'm going to take you through this video of my toolbox and what I use these things for. I'm not going to go into great detail. I'm just going to explain the basics of what it is that are in my toolbox. And then if you want more information, I can go through and do like a drawer by drawer video showing exactly what each thing is used for and how I use those on my patients to help them and what results we've had because of these different tools. So let's get started. All right, so here we have our toolbox, and it looks just like a toolbox that you'd see in someone's garage or in a mechanic shop, and it's nothing too crazy, but let's go ahead and look inside. So we have the first drawer here, and in here, basically a lot of the stuff in here, we have stuff to work on hand grip strength. These are things that help me with adjusting. This is for working on the back of the hand, strengthening the back of the forearm area. Then we have a thumb massager, and then these are the tools that I use for scraping. I do a lot of muscle scraping on bodybuilders and anyone that has excess scar tissue from surgeries or any kind of injury that hasn't healed properly, to restart the healing process and help build everything back, kind of put everything back to the way it should be. All right, here is our second drawer. This one is a very crowded drawer. So we've got a lot of stuff going on here. So here is these little popsicle sticks that I use. This is what I will put the emollient on, or kind of like the lotion stuff for the muscle scraping. We have different taping. I use this tape, which is just electrical tape for taping wrists. Then we have our athletic tape, like the rock tape. This is for doing like shoulder taping, and then this is just more of a generic bandage tape. This is the scissors for cutting the tape. I use a Theragun or percussive gun to help with a lot of sports injuries. Here's all the attachments for that. This is a new tool that I'm going to be doing probably another video on soon, of how to work into trigger and pressure points of the body. Here's the cups that I use. I just use a silicone cup. And then here is voodoo taping. So this one and this one are for voodoo taping. This is a generic massager. And then these are massagers that you can kind of roll on people, or people can lay on and roll out. This is they call it the peanut ball roller. That's really good for going between, like right over the spine, put the spine through here. And then this is just different balls that I can use to kind of work on patients or test different things with. I usually use the lacrosse ball with most patients to help kind of dig into certain areas, as well as the tennis ball. And then that is pretty much it for the second drawer. All right, so here is the third drawer. This is for examination purposes mainly. And most of the stuff in here is used for extreme cases that I'll see. So if someone has nerve damage or neurological disorder that we have to use any of these tools to diagnose, these are what they're for. So these exam gloves in here, this is for doing anything, like if I work in the mouth at all, doing like TMJ stuff, or doing other tests, or if someone has kind of a skin disorder that I shouldn't be touching, I use those. This is tuning forks, so we use these to detect like fractures or hearing loss or neurological hearing problems. This is a blood pressure cuff. That's to test blood pressure, obviously. We have a reflex hammer right here. It can also help me detect other neurological things with the sharp and the dull ends down here. This is for EENT, or basically your eyes, ears, nose, and throat testing. Then this is the stethoscope. That is for basically listening to lung and heart sounds in my patient. We have our face mask here if we need it, and we have a finger pulse oximeter to test how much oxygen is in the blood. We just put that right on the finger. And then this is the fourth drawer. So in here, these are some of the things that I use to help me with my adjusting. So here are those bigger trigger point things that I use, and this is something I can use to adjust someone while they're laying on their back. So I adjust their back while they're laying on their back with these. This helps me with basically adjusting any feet, knees, kind of smaller areas that I can use this little drop piece on. And then, but mostly I use it for adjusting knees. This is just a little pillow that I use to also prop up the knee when I'm adjusting knees. Then these are called pelvic blocks. These help me if I want to align the pelvis, littlest amount of force possible, and just by using mainly gravity. So the last drawer is nothing exciting. It's basically camera equipment and anything I use to film any of these videos. All right, so that was the tour of the tool chest. If you have any questions about any of these tools that I use in there, or if you want me to make a video specifically about any of these tools that I'm using, be sure to leave me a comment below or hit me up on social media, Facebook, any of those things, and ask me about any of these things that you have questions on. Again, if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and check out more of our videos on what makes me different as a chiropractor, what I do, as part of using all these tools. So again, I'm Dr. Jon Clayton, your Layton chiropractor here in Utah. Thanks.